Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for taking some time to join us today. We are going to be starting in a little bit here. We're going to wait probably till about 2 or 3 minutes past the hour just to give some people who are stopping by from other webinars a chance to jump in. So thank you for your patience, and we'll get going here pretty quick. But yeah, just a little background on AlphaBOLD. We are based out of Carlsbad, California, which is North County, San Diego. And right now it is a balmy 75 degrees outside, but it is humid. It is like 80% humidity. So not something we're used to too much over here. But thank you, everybody, for your patience. We will be starting in the next couple of minutes, and I'll keep you updated in the next minute or so. All right, so we are a couple of minutes past the hour, and we are going to kick this thing off. So welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on our webinar on how you can elevate your marketing efforts through Microsoft Dynamics 365. My name is Nick. I am a sales executive here and a bold enthusiast. I have 10 years of customer-facing account management experience, and I love seeing how new technologies come about and how they can help people in everyday life. And today we have Mohsen taking us through the slides and some demos. He is also a bold enthusiast and senior architect here with 12 years of experience and specialties in customer data, Dynamics, Power Platform, and Azure. All right, over the next hour, we will go over customer insights, creating customer profiles and segments. We'll go over Dynamics 365 marketing, marketing emails, and take you on a customer journey. If you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please enter them in the chat. We will answer them throughout the presentation as well as at the end. So that takes care of kind of the house cleaning. I'll hand it off to Mohsen. Take it away.
Thank you, Nick. Let's get started. So what is Dynamics 365 Customer Insights? It is part of Microsoft's customer data platform. It is relatively new. It's been a couple of years that Microsoft started this offering. So Customer Insights unifies customer data and provides the insights for organizations to deliver personalized customer experiences. It helps organizations realize the full potential of their customer data quickly with the only self-service enterprise-grade solution that delivers insights in real time. Let's see how this is like laid out. What is the structure of it? So the solution automates the orchestration of customer data and ultimately empowers employees to connect and engage with customers in the moment. Organizations can obtain a truly complete view of each customer across channels, from their campaign responses or website visits, in-store visits, purchases. The solution enables administrators to bring in customer data from various sources. So they could be residing in transactional or behavior data, could be internal or could be external data sources. Additionally, the solution standardizes the data and applies AI to automatically match and merge customer records into one comprehensive customer profile. And that's the whole idea with customer insights, that it allows us to ingest all the data from various data sources and builds this one comprehensive customer profile. We can enrich those customer profiles with brand affinity and interests from Microsoft Graph. It aggregates the proprietary data from their graph and enriches the profiles in our system in the customer insights. So with AI and ML, we can derive insights and KPIs that power personalized experiences and optimize the business processes across all channels of engagement. So we can see on this layout in this slide, we have internal and external data sources, we have the connectors, we have the unification process, then we can ingest the data, map and match, we can enrich that, we can build from that insights, we can build analytics on top of that, and then obviously we have our Power BI, Power Automate, Power Apps to take actions. So here we have a comparison of traditional customer analytics versus Dynamics customer insights. So traditionally, customer analytics are done by building a homegrown system. These are typically hard-coded to the underlying data sources, which make them hard to adapt and can take a long time to implement. These systems usually are made up of different stacks for each piece, right? So you could have storage in one place, you have the KPI calculations happening in another place, and generally compliance is typically an afterthought. But with Dynamics 365 Customer Insights, you have a finished SaaS solution that is highly configurable and extensible. It is a solution that can be implemented in weeks and is totally integrated into one hyperscale cloud platform. The system is compliant by design, and the insights it generates can be embedded into other Dynamics products, which basically mean Microsoft Power Platform or just about anywhere using the APIs. So to summarize, Dynamics 365 Customer Insights gives you the ability to effectively personalize at scale and get a complete unified view of the customers. A unified customer profile can then incorporate the transactional data like online, offline purchases, behavioral data. But when we bring all of that together, the data becomes an asset from which insights are derived. With customer insights, organizations can finally deliver personalized experiences through one-on-one interactions. You can generate relevant offers for them. You can do product recommendations, all at the right time and right place. So with that, I'm going to jump into some of the demos. So to show how all of this works, we're going to assume like a Contosa Coffee scenario here. And let's say Contosa Coffee wants to do a marketing, they want to send email or newsletter to their high valued customers, or like a summer promotion promo going on, right? So they don't have anything today. They have their e-com data somewhere, they have POS data somewhere. So let's jump into the demo and I'll take you through how easy and quick it is to basically start with customer insights. So in the first demo, we will be creating a unified customer profile. So let me share my other screen and get started. Nick, can you please confirm if you can see it?
Yep, looks good.
Awesome. So here I have customer insights at the homepage. We will go to our data sources and we will click add data source. So we have a couple of options here. We will use the import data option for now. We'll give it a name, call it e-commerce. Click next. And then on this next screen, we have a number of options to import this data, ingest this data. We'll select text CSV. Now, text CSV could be like a file path locally, or you could have it as a URL. In my case, I have it as a URL. Click next. And then so it's going to give me a preview of the data. It's going to show me how that data looks like. Click transform to make any kind of modifications. In our case, today we will be, if you're familiar with like Power Query, you know you can do expressions, and if you have used Power BI as well, you know how you can do model, and then you can update that model. So in our case, you can see the first row, basically these are the columns. So we'll say, hey, use first row as headers, and then we will apply some transformations or update the data types. So once this refreshes, we will go ahead and update the date of birth to date time zone, right? Or date time. And then we will update the transformation on the created on as well. So we'll say it is a date time zone. And then we will go ahead and give it a name. So we'll call it e-commerce contacts. Let's go ahead and add another data source. So we'll use text CSV as well. And then we will provide a file name or URL. So these would be our online purchases. So click next. Again, this will get the data in, and then it will add it to the same data. We'll do the same steps We'll click OK. We'll go ahead and apply the transformations. You can see the first row again has our headers. We'll say yes, first row uses headers. And then we will apply the transformation on purchase on column. It will convert to date time. And then total price, we will say it is a currency value. Finally, we'll go ahead and give it a name, call the e-commerce purchases. Once we're done, click next. It's going to validate this queries. It's going to validate the transformation steps. So in the interest of time, I went ahead and I already added these additional data sources, loyalty scheme data, we have POS data, we have website reviews. So in the next demo, I'll show you how we can map it, match, and merge these into one single customer profile. Let me go ahead and start the next one. So we will, Nick, can you confirm you can see it, right?
Yep.
So we will initiate our unification process. So as part of the unification process, it allows us to map it, match, and then merge. As part of that, we have to identify, because these are different data sources, right? So we have to identify, hey, which field is going to be the primary key, right? How is it going to map it to the common data model scheme for Microsoft? All of that process and procedures and steps are going to allow us to merge these records into one single unified customer profile. So objective is to basically find a unique customer profile, the golden record, which will have all the associated like POS data or transactions. So we have again map, match, and merge. Select entities. In our case, we will start with the customer contacts, right? And then we'll select the loyalty customer data. So click done. So here you can see already it mapped to the common data model. The types are already mapped to that, right? So it's bringing the structure from our data sources to a common data model format. So here we will go ahead and say, well, use a contact ID as our primary key. So let's say, yep, use that guy. And then for the loyalty customers, hey, which one do you want to use? So we even have our ID here. So we'll say, yes, use that one, loyalty ID. Select that. Go ahead and click save. Next, now we'll go ahead and create matching rules. So we'll do the matching steps. Here we will define the rules. How should the system match these records? So first we have to set the entity order. Which one would be the primary one? Which one would be the secondary one? In our case, we want to select the e-commerce data as a primary entity, and the secondary would be loyalty data. Another way to look at it as select the primary data source which has the most complete data, which has the most data in it. In our case, we know the e-commerce has the most data, the most customers, so we'll say yes, include all the records. Secondary, we will select the loyalty scheme data. We'll say hey, yes, include all records, and then click done. Here you can see it is saying, hey, it needs a rules. How? Okay, well, we just added these to you guys, but the system still doesn't know how to match them. So we will define the matching rules and tell customer insights how it should match, which columns, attributes it should match it on. And you can see, well, we just ingested data from two separate different sources, e-commerce, loyalty customer data. Nobody knows how to match them. So we will define the rules. So we'll say, hey, full name and email, pretty standard stuff, right? So we'll select the full name field from both data sets. So we'll say full name from the loyalty customer. From the option, normalization options, if the data needs to be normalized, you could do previously in the Power Query editor. Here you can select, hey, it's a type of phone name address, right? Precision level, we will leave it to basic. Well, this is very interesting here. Exact, it's currently it says exact, but exact means full name matches exactly in both data sets. Well, we know that's not the case, and that's like generally speaking, there are like some systems have last name comma first name, some systems have first name comma last name, some have so you know it's swapped. Some may have some kind of spelling mistakes and stuff. If it's an exact, it's probably not going to match all the records. We can lower this slider down to high or medium or low. we will say, hey, well, the precision level, we can accept, hey, it's a high or medium precision level. So it will give us more matches, right? It's going to be more flexible. So we'll say, yes, use high. Now let's go ahead and add email address as well, because we wanted to match using full name and email address. So we'll say, hey, from e-commerce, select the email column, loyalty customers, use the email column as well. Normalize, believe you'll leave it as blank. For the precision level, we know for the emails, like, we have a pretty high confidence so that they're going to be the same. Click save now, and then click run. So this will schedule a job and then provide us the results back. Now, it gave us 4,647 matched records, and the total unique customer profiles are 5,357. So that's a union set of both of these guys. But let's go ahead and take a look at the precision rules. So let's say for the full name, we want to lower it down to medium or low even, right? So click done. And then let's try to save and run it again. Let's see how many matched records we find now. So we have 4,647 right now. But let's go ahead and run this now and then see how many we get back. Now we can see we have 4,943. That's a lot, right? A lot more than before. And then unique customers are 5,061. But let's see the data. How does that look like right now? So here we can see the system's confidence. So that 1 is like 100% and 0.96 is like 96%. So it shows us, hey, how closely these guys are matched. And so here we have a spelling mistake, right, in the e-commerce. But on the loyalty scheme data, we have the correct spellings for William, but it still found the match. Again, first and last name is swapped, right, in both systems, but it was still able to find the match. Let's kind of take a look at the match and unmatched data, right? How can we see the unmatched records? So you can edit that rule and click on the unmatched records. It's going to show you the unmatched data. You could export this data, right? You could fix these records in your data source. You could ingest the data again or just refresh the data source and then run the job again. It'll basically find these matches as well. So you can see here it's showing the match records as well, how it was able to match. So in the next step, we'll go ahead and merge these guys, merge the data sets. So to build us one customer unique profile. The system already allows or like takes a pass at, hey, how am I going to collapse these fields? Because we have the first name in both data sets, right? And you remember how in the mapping step we did the, hey, first name matches to this common data model scheme. So now I already know, say, I know the first name matches this guy last name. Here for the contact ID, we will go ahead and give it another name, right? We'll say, hey, it's a loyalty. The contact ID, this contact particular ID is coming from the loyalty data. So just rename that just so that it shows up on the customer record. So we'll click save, we'll go ahead and run it, and it will merge these into one single customer profile. All right, so let's go to the slides.
Hey, Mohsen?
Yep, go ahead.
We did have a question come in while you were doing that. So the question is, in order to do a data mashup, you have to do a lot of handwork. Is this report now live? And if so, if I'm using live data, do I get the most recent version of truth?
Right, that's a good question. Yes, so if I understand it correctly, so you're saying you have live data, right? So for example, e-commerce data is live or loyalty data is live in this example, right? The system allows us to schedule jobs or refreshes 4 times each day, and it ingests the data. If you schedule the refreshes in the system in customer insights, it will refresh the data 4 times a day, and it will apply all those rules again on that data set, and it will continue to refresh that customer profile in the system. Yes, does
Okay.
that answer?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Good question. All right, so let's go to the slide. All right, so we were in the customer, you saw demos in the customer profile, customer insights. We were able to establish a customer data platform pretty quickly. We combined the customer related data from siloed sources, e-com data, loyalty data, website reviews, POS data. We'll see how that looks like later on. And then we realized a unified customer profile. In the next demo, I'm going to show you how to do segments, how we can do the measures from all the channels offered by Contoso and how we will later on use them. So with that said, let me go ahead and start the demo. Oops, let me share my screen. There we go. Nick, can you please confirm you can see it?
Yeah, we got it.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. So here we will go ahead and do the segmentation. So before we do that, we need to create some measures in the system. And then based on those measures, we will slice the data. So we have three types of measures in the system. We have business measures, we have customer measures, and customer attribute. Business measures are like apply on the organization. Customers are multiple fields about your customers. And obviously the customer attribute is a single field that shows in your customer profile. In this case, we will just go ahead and create our business measures. And then obviously we'll, in this demo, I'll also do the customer measures later on. So we'll go ahead and create our first measure, average store purchase value. We'll give it a display name. Average store purchase value, dollars, click next. So here we have our entities, variables, and measure definition, how we want to define it. From the entities, we'll go ahead and select the POS data. Variables, we don't need any. We will select the average, right? It's an average store purchase value. So from the entity, we will select POS purchase, yep. Fields, we'll select total price, and then we'll give it a name. So we will say average store purchase value, and then we'll give it a display name as well. And we'll go ahead and click save. Let's go ahead and create another one. So we'll use another business measure. So we'll create an average online web purchase value. So we'll say average web purchase value, give it a display name, click next. Here again, we will select our e-commerce data. So we'll say e-commerce purchases. Remember, we added two data sources. So we'll select, hey, do an average again, average web purchase, so total price. So if you remember in the initial demo, we did the currency value, we did proper data types. All of that is helping here, building out these measures. So click save. So while the system is refreshing these two guys, in the interest of time, I went ahead and already created these other customer measures and customer attributes with the same process. So we have total club points, we have online spend. But if you click on the home page, you can see the company level, business level measures showing us the values. 139 for the web purchases, and average store purchases 112. But how do we see the data behind these guys? How was the system able to like calculate these guys? So if you go to entities, you can see all these measures that it's creating behind the scenes, right? You can click on customer measure, for example, and you click on data. You can see, hey, what is the average store associated with which customer ID? And all of this is like associated back to this golden profile that the system is generating behind the scenes. Lifetime spent, total club points. Another thing is you can click on the graph view, so you see the summary view tab, right? So let's say we want to we want to use this measure to slice the data, but like show us some numbers. So you click on that bars, and it's going to show us the percentile, total club points by percentile, right? So at 75th percentile, we have 155. And obviously above that, we don't have that many, with 700 like high numbers. So it also gives us the mean and standard deviation, variance, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to use that AI and stuff, you got those statistics there. So now that we know, hey, total club points, average store purchase value, in the next demo, I'll show how we can use the measures and the values from these and segment the data and create the segments. Nick, can you please confirm you can see it?
Yeah.
So here on the segments, back in customer insights, with segments, we can achieve more like targeted actions, right? You could do summer promo. We can, so as part of this demo, we'll create actually 2 segments. And what it does is it uses these measures that we created in the system, and then it's generates a slice of data. So segments can be static. There are 2 types, right? Segment static and dynamic. A dynamic segment is you define a criteria for the system, and it evaluates the data whenever it refreshes, right? So if you have a refreshing data, it will evaluate the customers, it will apply those measures to them, and then it will apply those dynamic rules on them and see if they are going to be part of the dynamic segment or not. Whereas with a static segment, you just define a rule, and then everybody, whoever is part of that segment, is going to remain as part of that segment. So we'll go ahead and create a segment for high customers with by purchase value. So go ahead and click new. We'll say create from measures. So we created those measures before. So we'll say average by purchase value. So we'll select that. See, it shows us a nice graph by percentile. So the value, we could potentially look at that. And we want to say how many customers, like percentage of customers we want to target, right? So we'll say is greater than 138. So click review. You can see a little bit over 55%, right? And the total customers that will be targeted within this segment are 2,796. We'll go ahead and give it a name, high value online customers. Give it a good, nice display name. Format that properly. Okay, and then click save. So here we have a dynamic segment being created. You can also create segments like from scratch. You can define the criteria yourself. So in this case, we'll create a summer promotion segment. Give it a nice display name. Click next. Here we will define the criteria. So you can see the profile, the customer insights that the system is generating, right? But so we will select our customer insights profile measure. So we'll select the average store purchase value from the e-com data. And then we'll say, hey, it's greater than or equal to 113. So as part of this demo, I'm just using this number, but obviously based on your data, your numbers from your measures that you're getting back, you can select that. And then we can define we can do an and and or. So we can say, hey, date of birth is greater than or equal to 1/1/1981. So, and you can say, hey, is date of birth is less than or equal to, do that again, 12/31/1996. And then we'll say, hey, select all the records. So this is a dynamic criteria that we have defined. It's going to ask us to activate. Yep, please activate. And it's going to refresh and say the members. But if you click on home page, you can see, hey, these are the segments, and these are the members of these segments. So we have summer promo, 770 members, and high value online customers. So you click on that high value, it's going to show us the segment size for the last 30 days and also the member preview as well. But remember, like I said, it's dynamic. So if whenever you have live data coming into the system, it will refresh these profiles, it will refresh these segments, and it will also it will refresh the measures, it will refresh the segment as well. All right. With that said, let's go to the slides.
Okay, and a quick question here. Who are the common users within a company that are using customer insights?
Right, so customer insights. So if you think about like C-level execs, the interface or the that's not for them. What the customer insights is doing is it's giving us the platform to combine the data sources. So it's mainly like business users would go in, but really the insights and actions will be the system will be utilized for that. And then, for example, in our demo today, we'll show you the Dynamics 365 for marketing that we will be leveraging the outputs from this system, the segments and profiles into that other system in 365 for marketing, and then using that. But you don't have to use customer insights just with that product. You can, it has a like a large amount of connectors, built-in connectors that you could use, right? And then obviously leverage those into line of business applications. So if you already have some applications, you can integrate them with the customer insights. Um, so yeah, it's like that. So hopefully that answers that.
Okay, so kind of the output can be used into marketing and then further into the sales. So that's kind of who would mostly be benefiting from that kind of stuff.
Right.
Perfect. Cool.
Let's go back to the slides. Any other Q&A?
That was it for right now.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about marketing now. We'll talk about the marketing landscape, get a quick overview, and then jump back into the demos. So let's talk about some of the challenges with the existing solutions out there today. So there are not a lot of products which are like built on top of Dynamics 365 platform itself. Only a handful of them. So they're like the tools, the marketing tools are already like disconnected from the sales and customer service or the POS and all that kind of other stuff, right? You're doing blanket emails or doing mass marketing emails, they're not working. They're going to junk mail or somebody is like unsubscribed, they don't want to see or not opening, they're just deleting them. You have customer data scattered, right? You have like data silos, and some data is in some system, some other data is some other system. It's not combined. You cannot create segments like we just did, right? Seller ignore marketing leads because they're not nurtured properly, they're not graded properly. So that's a problem. Security and compliance is an issue. And obviously, there are no insights from those products to improve the results. With Dynamics 365 for marketing, it provides us with a new approach of creating personalized experiences. So it allows us to unify customer data, brings together data from nearly any source, really, including Microsoft apps and third-party apps. You can orchestrate customer journeys in Microsoft 365 for marketing. You can use extensive customer journey management capabilities to create long-term relationships with customers. You can also adjust the customer journeys to respond to changing situations or information. So somebody is not opening your email, you can say, hey, if somebody hasn't opened that email as part of the customer journey, you can say, well, send them a SMS text or send them another like letter or email or follow-up or something, right? You can align marketing and sales. You can increase the communication between your business units to achieve greater customer knowledge, better communication, and obviously that increases the efficiency. Enables you to make more informed decisions. You can take advantage of greater volumes of data and insights provided by AI and interaction data. So 365 for marketing is already collecting all the data, who is opening those emails, what time they opened that email, when it should actually send the emails, 8 a.m., 12 a.m., 11 a.m. So all that kind of stuff, it does automatically. And obviously that all results in business growth. So it allows smooth connections to other Dynamics 365 applications like sales or customer insights.
Yeah, and I'd like to step in here and just kind of highlight that unique value of this platform and the fact that it does live together with Dynamics 365. It integrates seamlessly with Dynamics 365 sales. Then it combines marketing automation with event management. It integrates with customer insights, which is what we just went over. And then it has the ability to connect with LinkedIn and also some other AI capabilities. It's completely secure and scalable, which is huge. And overall, it's just easy to use. It's really easy to use. So I just wanted to point that out versus kind of the other marketing applications out there.
Awesome. All right, let's take a look at some of the features for 365 for marketing. So marketing provides you with the tools to turn prospects into business relationships, right? So it features easy to use tools to help marketers connect successful like multi-channel campaigns that can be targeted to attract the right prospects. It has a built-in capability of doing A/B testing. And with A/B testing, what that means is if you have like a campaign, right, customer journey, you configure that. But what if you have like your marketing team comes up with two separate email or two separate subjects or two separate from fields, right? As part of this customer or Microsoft 365 for marketing, you can configure both uh, marketing emails as part of the campaign and say, well, system, you go ahead and test both of them, see which one is getting better response rates, and then use that one for the rest of the audience. Or if after a defined time it cannot find a winner, it will basically default to whatever you provide as default. Lead nurturing efforts that personalize each customer journey. You can have integration with customer insights. You can have, as part of the 365 for marketing, it has lead score management. So you could say, hey, well, somebody opened up an email, give them 5 points. If somebody visited your website, give them 10 points. If somebody downloaded your marketing newsletter or a white paper, you can give them more points. Or you can also say if somebody did not open an email, we'll deduct 5 points, right? And then based on those points, you can grade them hot, cold, warm, that kind of stuff, right? And then based off of that, it will automatically route those leads to your sales team. So they will start showing up in your sales team dashboards and views. That's all because it's using the same platform, right? So seamless integration, really. Event management, you can do registration, you can do attendance tracking from an events portal that can be created within Dynamics 365 for marketing. It has a full-fledged succession management. You can do speaker management, you can do costs. You can have insights. You can have their insights, and you can generate reporting data from it. You can integrate it with Microsoft Forms Pro. Now it's called Customer Voice. And obviously you can use customer survey data into building new customer journeys. So you can say if somebody responded back with this level, or somebody said, well, they found a problem, or they had a problem, or whatever. So based on the customer responses, even you can say, well, route them to in this channel and then put them in this segment or something like that, and they can like personalize their marketing for them. It runs on the adaptable unified platform. It provides ready-built integration with other Dynamics 365 products, with sales, 365 for marketing. Basically, it easily fits into your customer campaigns. And we have the AI-driven insights. You can do lead scoring, like we talked about. You can do custom dashboards for automated marketing performance, and you can look at that in like Power BI. You can like, because this is all using common data service, common data model, you can still use Power BI to extract that data and have dashboards. Let's talk about some of the like example scenarios, right? We have, you can see on the slide, we have it's a really nice customer journey designer. So you could build a customer journey to send periodic newsletters or congratulatory emails, birthdays and anniversaries. You could do that. You can just do it once and just leave it. It'll automatically run. You can notify sellers via emails or route the leads when there's a web activity by the target audience. You can send welcome emails, post sales nurture data. You can do improved targeting and communications. Create target segments. You can build targets. You can do target segments in 365 for marketing. But like you saw with customer insights, because it allows us to ingest the data from various data sources, it's really nice and easy to build those over there and then ingest them into 365 for marketing. And we'll see that in a demo coming up next. You can identify the fans and best customers. You can detect the pattern cards on your website. You can re-engage with them to like complete their orders and stuff. And you can obviously do the events. You can do annual customer events. You can do volunteer events, product launches, all of that. You can build all of that inside Dynamics 365 for marketing. You can create those records in the system, and then it will generate the portal for you, which obviously you can customize. And if you don't want to use the automatically generated one, you can always use your own custom website for that as well. And on this right hand side, you can see it starts with a segment and it's doing a marketing email. It says, hey, launch the marketing. So there's a scheduler for that. So it's pretty, like, we can see all the minimap and branching logic going on there. All right, so with that said, let's go jump back into the demo. So if you remember, in the customer insights, we were done with the segments. We created our measures and created our segments. So now we're gonna go ahead and use the data and send it over to Dynamics 365 for marketing. So let me share my screen. And Nick, can you please confirm you can see it?
Yep, we're good to go.
All right, there we go. So created our segments. In this demo, we will go ahead and set up our export destinations. Export destinations, as you can see on the screen, there could be multiple destinations. You can have a blob storage, you can have customer service, live ramp, right? So in our case, we will be using Dynamics 365 for marketing. So we'll set up a destination, we'll call it Dynamics 365 for marketing, right? We'll give it the URL for the Dynamics 365 for marketing, paste that in, sign into the system. So I'm already signed in, so I'll just select that, accept the permissions. And then it asks, hey, which field matches the Dynamics 365 contact ID? So if you remember when we did our first step, when we were doing the map step, we were saying, hey, well, these fields map to these common data model field and schemes. So we have our contact ID, which is going to match in 365 for marketing. So we'll select that. So it now shows us, hey, which segments you want to export. And obviously, when we automatically refresh our data, these are going to be automatically refreshed in 365 for marketing as well. So you don't have to worry about, hey, who's going to refresh it. So it's just one-time setup. So if you see here on the My Export Destinations, you can see we have configured this guy. But another way to export the segments is you just right-click on them and then say Add to, and then do your destination. So in this case, it's Dynamics 365 for marketing. So we'll select that. So this will basically do the high value online customers. So back in the marketing 365 for marketing, you can see it has our high value online customers and summer promotion segments. It says both of them are draft. It shows them as segment type as static segment, but we know that these are dynamic segments coming in from customer insights. You can also, like I said, define the segments inside 365 for marketing, but we're going to leverage customer insights for in our case. So, but if you open up one of them, you can see we have our members. So these members are the contacts in our system coming over from our customer insights. So we got these from our e-com data or the loyalty data, right? And if you click on the summer promotion segment, we have summer promotion contacts in the system. So first, we need to go live. We need to publish these segments so that they're live. And then if you click on summer promotion one, we'll do the same thing for that as well. It's going to publish them. It's going to allow us to use the segments in our customer journeys. But before we go to customer journeys, we need to create a marketing email. So click new, marketing emails. It will present us with this nice templates out of the box. So you could create your own email template as well, or you can start from one of these guys, right? You can filter them down. You can say, well, we want to use it like a newsletter, which is our case today. So select newsletter, and then you can select any one of them. You can totally skip this step if you don't want to use any of these guys. So we'll select this guy, the first one. Here, it's going to present us with a Visivic designer. We'll give it a name. So we'll say monthly newsletter. So you can also see we have this A/B testing over there, but first let's populate the monthly newsletter subject. Go ahead and save it. And let's talk about the designer now. So we have the HTML view. You can, if you have like editors or people who are familiar with HTML, you can do HTML-based email templates as well. Just copy paste that. This previews tab is really powerful. So it's going to show us a basic preview, how it's going to look like on a particular device, a tablet view or a mobile view or on a desktop. You can do the horizontal, vertical, portrait mode. But this inbox preview, it's something that it's provided by Litmus Lite, and it's going to show us how the actual email is going to look like for the end customer in a given browser and in an email client. So on like Windows 10 or Gmail Explorer without Gmail and Firefox or Chrome, how it's going to look like. So this is the A/B testing I was talking about earlier. And here you can say, well, which test type you want to perform on this marketing email. So you could say, well, we have a subject, different subject. You want to try different subjects and then see which ones are getting more clicks, more people are opening it, which one sounds more interesting. So if you cannot come up with a decision in your marketing team, you could try out with the system. And then it will send out in a not to everybody, it will send out to like a 20-person audience or something like that. And it will try to see which one is a winner. And then if not, obviously then it will default to one of them. Same you can do for the from name, or you can do the email body as well. You can have a complete content wall. You can start with two different various templates. You can have different blocks in them, different fonts or headings. You could do that. But in our case, we'll just keep it simple, go live. It's gonna check for errors. It's gonna check for email spam, risk is low. So that's all AI, it's gonna check for that. But let's go create customer journeys. Go ahead and click new. And then we will do a monthly newsletter. So again, you can see it provides us out of the box templates. You don't have to use it, but it's pretty straightforward. So let's click select. Again, we have the nice designer view here. We have our segment groups. So it says, well, who is going to be your segment's target audience? So you remember how we created those segments back in customer insights. We brought them into 365 for marketing. And now we're going to select that same segment. So high value online customers, we'll give it a name. So let's fix that. High value online customers. And you can see we can add more than one segments as well. So you don't have to just have one segment, you can have more than one segment. And then you can say, hey, we'll union them or do other operators on it as well. So they can be combined together and be made part of the same customer journey. So we have our scheduler tab, we'll leave that alone. And then marketing email message we created, we'll select the one that we created. We'll go ahead and do that. Monthly customer newsletter. So it is live. So we'll go ahead and save it. Next, we'll go to the general tab. And then we will select the end date time. Since it's a monthly, we want to do at least 12 months. So we'll give it an end date of 1 year, 12 months out. So we'll go ahead and give that date to it. Let's do that. 6. Right, click save. So go live. Here you can see it gives us this error, right? So it checks if there are any errors in your customer journey. If you left any field blank or from the designer view, you can go and fix those. And then you can come back here and then you can click validate or check for errors. But you can, in this case, we'll just say go live. So it's going to publish it. And then behind the scenes, it's going to schedule this customer journey to go live. And you can see we have the insights and social insights and related. It's going to, once the customer journey is live, it's sent those emails out, it's going to come back and then it's going to show us the journey status on it. So it'll show us the incomplete ones, which ones have been completed, and somebody opened that email, somebody bounced that email from their mailbox. So all of that is going to be captured on the customer journey. All right, let's go back to the slides. Let me switch back. All right. So we were able to start from customer insights. We were able to combine the profiles. We were able to unify the data, map, match, and merge. We created our measures, segments. We exported those segments over to Dynamics. We 365 for marketing. We were able to create marketing emails, and we were able to create the customer journeys. Targeted customers with high engagement score for online channels with a focused retention campaign. So that's all that I have. I mean, any questions, Nick, for the marketing side?
Yeah, well, we have just a couple of questions
Right.
in general for everything. And one being, you had mentioned the data gets ingested 4 times a day.
Yes.
Is that a standard or can that be changed?
It cannot be changed right now. That's what Microsoft came out with. Perhaps with the additional feedback to Microsoft, they might change it. But for now, it's 4 times a day.
Okay, gotcha. And then for the data, where is the data stored?
It's a very good question, right? We're ingesting all this data, where it's going. So the data is stored in a secure Azure data lake of the organization's Azure tenant. So as part of this, there has to be an Azure tenant. And that's where it's stored at. And the customer admin can fully export and migrate the data as they wish.
Okay. And then another question was for customer insights. They're asking how much the cost is for that.
Right. So it is $1,500 per tenant per month. And it includes 100,000 profiles. So the one golden customer profile so it includes 100,000 per tenant per month for $1,500. And obviously you can buy more. And if you have more customers, you want to create more customer profiles, you can always purchase add-on packs. Obviously that's going to cost more.
Of course. That about does it for the questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up everything. So finally, let's talk. Hopefully you guys found some of this insightful and do want to explore this more. If you do, let us know, get in contact with us. What we can do is review what your existing marketing processes are and then provide feedback as far as whether Dynamics 365 marketing or customer insights is a fit, and if we can kind of help improve your processes by applying some of these platforms. And then overall, we'd be able to just deliver kind of a project plan of how to get you guys going and the implementation costs associated with that. And ultimately, we just hope to help your organization move forward with some intelligent marketing. On the next slide, you'll find our contact info, and after all this is said and done, we will be sending out recordings as well as our PowerPoint slides so you guys can review after the fact. And if there was any questions that did go unanswered, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to talk with you and help you guys out. Also, we are providing, or we are going to be scheduling a little survey after this is done, so please fill that out. We would greatly appreciate it so we can improve processes on our end. And we'll also be doing a little drawing for those who do fill out the survey, and we'll be sending out some Amazon gift cards for you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for attending. We really do appreciate it, and we look forward to talking with you. Have a great day.